100% of the Ugandans are religious. If not Christians or Muslims, you have to find them, maybe they are in witchcraft or stuff like that. And most of them were ever complaining at their workplace that so and so bewitched me, that's why my business is not performing. We don't have a legit economy. Our economy is still informal, whereby you will find a lot of guys on the streets selling, someone is selling a watch, someone is selling soda by cup on the street, someone is selling chicken on the same street, some guy is trying to touch your pockets. We have a very informal economy. Each and everyone can just wake up from his house and get pancakes or gets chapatis and goes to the streets and wants to sell to other people, and other people will buy. So you should be aware of that, and you shouldn't maybe take it as something that is filthy, or because most of you in your countries are used to buying things from department stores or stuff like that. We also have supermarkets here. But the problem with some of these informal guys in the informal sector, some of them are not good people. Some may try to fraud you. Unlike in the supermarket or a department store, we have supermarkets here, whereby if you feel uncomfortable with the informal people, you just go to the supermarket and you buy your stuff and you get home. With some increase in price, of course. My friend, don't expect the subway. The subway we don't even have a train. We have something that works as a train, but it's not something I consider as a train. So you should come away of that. Transport here, we use bodas, we use personal vehicles, we use buses, we use taxis. There is a lot of load shedding, power outages here in Uganda, whereby you're doing your stuff on the computer or laptop or on your phone, and your phone is out of battery, and then at the same time there is a power outage. And so I don't know, you should come ready for that. You should come with a lot of power banks. I'm also very much disturbed here in our country, whereby I'm trying to shoot content, and at the very time I'm trying to shoot content, the power is out. At the very time I'm trying to edit my videos, power is out. And maybe if I never charge my laptop, it's a problem. So I have a lot of power banks here, like this one. Here in Uganda we study a lot, and in night preps you find that there is load shedding at school, and yeah, the students are very happy. They are saying, man, at least we have some time to rest. For the students, it's okay, but for the teachers, it's a sad note, because they have to finish the syllabus on time. Now, someone wants to come to Uganda and they would like to own land, or even get land for investment, or get land to do some business here in Uganda. It is very possible. If you're not a Ugandan and you're a foreigner coming from any country around the world, you are welcome to Uganda. Congolese, Kenyans, USA, France, wherever you're coming from, the government can decide to lease you land, and in the land offices, documents will be put out, and you come and you put your business. So maybe you build your house and you're given a lease maybe for 40 years or 50 years. You start maybe your farm, or because we have a lot of fertile land here, we have land for commercial use. You can put up apartments, and you begin reaping money. Land is very cheap here, whereby you find like a plot here in Kampala, in suburbs of Kampala, you can find like a plot of land that is 50 by 100 goes for about 30 million Uganda shillings in the suburbs, not in the city center. In the city center, it can be somehow very expensive, as you understand. Here in Uganda, it is easy to own land for the locals, unlike in other countries which I've heard about, like the US. It's not easy to own land when you're poor. Unlike here in Uganda, you can wake up and, like, your father had land and you inherit the land, your great-grand had the land and you inherit the land. Even a young man like me, I own land. I can work hard and own my own land, and yeah, it's possible, very possible. And far away from the capital city up country, you can get land very cheaply. Like an acre of land, you can find an acre of land for about 2 million or even lesser, or even cheaper. You can access that land. So land ownership here in Uganda is very easy, guys. When you come here in Uganda, most especially in the central region, we have a lot of traffic jam in the capital city of Uganda, whereby we have a lot of borders. They are like a swarm of bees. It will surprise you. And most people call it chaotic, but for us, we are used to it. We are used to running up and down. Here, we don't respect the zebra crossing. I'm sorry to say that. You'll be knocked down if you are waiting for borders to stop when they are mad at the zebra crossing, or cars. Even cars will not stop while you're crossing at the zebra crossing. You should come away of that. People just cross anyhowly. There isn't respect for traffic rules. At traffic points, like where you find traffic lights, that's where you'll find that cars are paying respect to the traffic lights, and maybe they are seeing traffic men standing somewhere. But again, you'll find that these borders are just crossing from point to point and rushing each and everywhere. Here in Uganda, people look at dressing very much. The way you dress is the way people will take you. If you dress like short skimpy dresses, if you're a man and you put on a vest and you move around, even if you're a young man, there is a way people will judge you. They may not tell you, but inward in their brain, once they see you, they will think that the guy putting on a vest or the woman putting on a skimpy dress falls in this class, or she has to be behaving like this, or stuff like that. The man putting on a suit, we should respect this man. So here in Uganda, you should be aware that putting on shorts and you move around maybe to offices or even in the road, people may not respect you as much as they should. Though we have traditional clothing like the kanzus and the gomas and many other traditional clothing from the different tribes here in Uganda, we don't usually put them on our day-to-day life. We usually put them on maybe when you're going for ceremonies and other traditional ceremonies and weddings and stuff like that. Maybe on Sunday when we are going to church, someone can decide to put on the traditional clothing. It's fine. But in our day-to-day life, we can dress like I'm dressed, or a t-shirt for the women, a long dress, or a short dress that is not too skimpy, that is not above the knees. Anything above the knees is considered very short. English is the most common language in the whole of Uganda, followed by a language called Luganda, spoken by the people called Baganda in the central region. Then you have other languages like Lunyankore, Rusoga, Rutoro, Ruchiga, Acholi, Iteso, Alur, Lugubar, very many languages, Karamajong, I don't know. Yeah, we have very many languages. I've told you we have about 52 tribes, and it is, we are blessed to have those many tribes. And people from different tribes can intermarry from any other tribe. It's fine here in Uganda, and even a foreigner can come, and we welcome foreigners, and we can marry from foreign tribes. We don't have very many restrictions here in Uganda, like in some countries where you go and you can't marry a local when you're a foreigner. It's not common here in Uganda. We are welcoming people, and we have no problem with that. You'll be surprised to find that most of the people in Uganda do hand washing. Even the rich people, a few of them own washing machines. Even if you want someone to do for you laundry, you'll be surprised that at the laundry machines, at the laundromats that we have here, which we call laundromats. In fact, we don't have laundromats. It's uncommon to find a laundromat here in Uganda. But those guys who do the washing call themselves Dobby. You'll find that they do hand washing. They don't have washing machines. It is even common to find young kids doing hand washing here. It's not a form of mistreatment or slavery, but we consider it as a way of teaching these young kids to do the washing. Like it's a training that is helping these kids to become useful people to the society in future. In Uganda, we eat a lot of things. We have fresh fruits from the garden, and most of the time you'll be surprised to find that a few people use deep freezers to keep fruits in their homes or even in shops. When you go to buy fruits from a shop, you'll find that most of the fruits are just put on a stall, and in that way we feel like those fruits are fresh and we don't care. We just like to store them that way. And most of the time the fruits are fresh, got from the garden like 2 or 3 days back. Yeah, we feel like they are still very fresh, and you just buy the fruits, and our fruits are so sweet. It will also surprise you, because I have friends who have come from USA, friends from UK, and once they tasted our fruits, they said, man, what's in these fruits? Like our pineapples are so good, our pawpaws are so good, our mangoes are good, our jackfruits are good, sugar canes are totally good. Each and everything we have here in Uganda is good. Maybe the soil is fertile, I don't know, but you'll be surprised to find that our fruits are so good. We have different dishes here in Uganda. I mean, staple food majorly here in the central region, where most people arrive at Entebbe. And in the central region, we have matoke as our staple food. Matoke is like bananas, but it's green in color, and we usually prepare it by peeling off the green stuff, and then we cover this other remaining part in banana leaves, and then we cook it for some good time, and then after we smash it and we serve it with either beans or meat, fish. We have a lot of sauce here in Uganda. It will surprise you also. And they're always fresh. We also have paste like groundnuts with maybe fish. So we have a lot of dishes here in Uganda. It will surprise you once you come to Uganda, but I think you should get used and you should love our dishes here in Uganda. We have other supplements that we eat that are not like, we take them like snacks, but they're not, maybe they're snacks. We have what we call grasshoppers. If you come here, find people eating those insects, you shouldn't be shocked. It's part of us. People here, most especially in the central region of Uganda, you know, Uganda is big. When I talk about Uganda, most people think about the Baganda, because they are the people living in the central region of Uganda. And when you talk about Uganda, most people think about Luganda. They'll greet you in Luganda like Olyotia Seb, Olyotia Nyabo. But Uganda is bigger than that. Uganda has about 52 tribes. So when you come in the central region, you'll find people eating those insects called the grasshoppers. Some of them eat white ants, and it shouldn't shock you. It's our culture. We are used to eating those insects. We supplement them with to our diet. And other things we eat, we have snacks like Rolex, whereby you get eggs, you fry them, you make chapati, and you put those eggs on top of the chapati. Then you cut tomatoes and other salads on top of that, and you roll it. That's why they call it a Rolex, like they roll eggs in the chapati. So we have many dishes here in Uganda, from the staple dishes to snacks. The other second staple dish we have here in Uganda is posho, whereby we get flour, white flour from maize, and a lot of people here in Uganda like growing maize. Uganda is an agricultural country. Most of the people are farmers, and we get the flour from the maize and we mix it with hot water to make that like it's like a solid thing mingled out of that. And yeah, we usually eat the posho in high school, in schools, in most institutions here in Uganda that like saving money will go for that, because it is cheaper even than the matoke. It's hard to find institutions serving matoke. If you find an institution or a family feeding on matoke each and every day, maybe they are somehow well off or they are middle class income, but most poor people like to go for posho. If they don't go for posho, the third staple food we have here in Uganda is the rice. Most people like going for rice, which is common in any other countries, most especially in Southeast Asia and Asian countries. They like rice, but here in Uganda we also do have rice. We eat rice with those sauces I talked about, the meat, the fish, and the beef, and yeah, all that other stuff, the beans, the ground nuts, each and everything you can think about. We have a lot of sauce here. Here in Uganda, everything is extended from the families, extended families, communities are extended, friendships are extended to an extent that whereby if you are wedding, or you made a party somewhere on the village, you'll find that the whole village will come to attend your party or your ceremony. Like, you cannot be at your party only family or only your friends. You'll find that the whole village is going to come to attend the party, and you have to serve them food. You have, maybe it's like we are very welcoming. We welcome even our neighbors or even the whole village to come and attend a party. There's a party which I attended in my village there, and in the morning there are very few people, but man, by as the party went on, by midday the whole tent were full of people whom I never knew. Anyway guys, for today I'll stop there. But if you want me to talk about anything else about what you may find here in Uganda, comment in the comment section below. I'm ready to answer with another video. Thank you for watching. I remain Dominic Mo. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like my video and share it. Let's meet again. Bye bye.